Hey guys, welcome back to Riding Through Your Depression with Saja Smiley. Before I get too far, I apologize. I am so stuffy today. It is cold. As you can see, I have on a sweatshirt. It's insane today in Houston. I don't know why this cold front won't go away. That being said, I did promise you I would do a video today, so I wanted to come on here as stuffy and as crappy as I feel and make sure that you guys get a little bit more tips from me about what I did to get through my depression and enhance my career as an author. So this week last week rather, we were talking about writing through your depression with music, and we're going to follow up with that for today. I also will be redoing last week's video. I had a little bit of a complaint from a few people saying that there's a lot of lighting that wasn't the best. No problem, I'll go back and fix it, and that the information wasn't clear. So I want to make sure I'm very clear with what I'm doing today. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment, shoot me an email, or get in contact with me from any of the links below. I am everywhere. It's kind of a little scary. But anyhow, let's continue. So we're going to talk to writing through your depression with music. So I described to you last week that for me, music is something that soothes my soul. And I don't know how it is for you, but I don't have a genre for music. Music is just music. I will listen to anything from jazz all the way to punk rock, because if it soothes my soul, it soothes my soul. Oh, by the way, ignore the hair. I was gonna wash it today, but of course it's like cold, so I can't, so I had no idea what to do with it, so it's just like there. But let's move on. Anyhow, so right, music. So I don't know if I mentioned, definitely you want to take a moment to find a playlist that works for you. Whatever genre that works for you, that pumps you up. And listen to your emotions, right? Because you can still discern how you're feeling even in your depression. Whether it's you're feeling overwhelmed with your depression, you can't feel, you don't know what to feel in that moment, but you know that you're overwhelmed. Or you could be just really, really sad, right? And then from your emotions, pair up the music. You want to definitely make sure that the music that you're listening to is drawing out is drawing out that emotion from you. So that might sound a little bit weird. So what do I mean? All right. For example, Maren Morris, Please Don't Kill Me. I love your songs. Big fan. She's a country singer, and she has a few songs. Actually, you know what? Let's do Claire Bowen. She's better. There's this song that's always stuck in my head. It's called Little by Little, right? And contrary to what it means, we think it's like little by little. Like, okay, contrary to what it sounds like, it's about a song about taking a step back, smelling the roses, and appreciating what you have and what's around you, right? So when I have a moment where I just feel really overwhelmed and I can't seem to, I feel overwhelmed, and then because I feel overwhelmed, I feel like a failure, right? Those are always kind of emotions that go hand in hand for me when it comes to depression. And just kind of overall, just kind of like I can't do anything right. I like listening to that song because it tells me, there's a great big world out there. If you don't stop and stare, moments will pass you by. And that happens sometimes when you're stuck in your own dark little world. So that's one aspect of, being depressed. There's another aspect where you just can't feel inspired, right? You just can't get to bring up the attitude to care. It's almost as if you have no emotions, right? I don't know about you, but I can be very, very cold, very, very cold sometimes when I'm suffering from depression, to the point where I've just shut down. And I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to see anyone. It's that self-isolation, right? So there's a few songs that I use for that. For me, trying to think of like the best one right off the top of my head. Heaven. I can't remember the song. I can't remember who wrote the song. But it goes, hey, 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 hey. It's all I remember from the song because that's always gets stuck in my head. But I love the crescendo of the song, right? There's a section where it kind of just like goes from this mild-mannered song to this like boom, and it just explodes. And in that explosion of the song is kind of where, my emotions kind of like, it's like a shock to me. Right? It's like a shock to my system that carries me through. So again, it's tying back what you're listening to how you feel, right? Depending on how you're feeling, you want to make sure that the music ties directly into how you feel and can draw you out of depression. Don't just listen to a song because you like the song, but listen to the, I mean, yeah, of course you should like the song, but not just because you like the song, but because it's really, either you like the instrumentals of the song or you like the words of the song. And the words of the song are there to kind of pull you back, ground you, right? That's what music does for you. Music is to ground you in a specific emotion, other than gloom and doom and crappy and want to just sob in a corner, right? So be careful of that too, because if you're not too careful, you can end up really sobbing in a corner if the song is all, cry and like a heartbreak song. Don't listen to heartbreak songs when you're you're going through, when you're having a relapse. Don't do that. I've been there, done that. Don't do it. It can get bad. But right, so that's what I mean when I say listening to music with your depression and how it draws you from that state. Now, when it comes to the writing, even though I've been terrible with my writing and I'm sorry, my cat is a little crazy, so I got to keep an eye on them. I have 4 of the little buggers. 4. Anyhow, moving on. So my writing, my description, right? One of the things I like about music is I like how music makes me feel. I like how to me, music is it's almost like its own person for me, right? Because sometimes when you're depressed, I don't really necessarily want to be around anyone, so I don't want a hug, but I need a hug. It's a biological imperative sometimes that your body needs to feel as though it's being cared for, but you need to be held. But I don't always want to be held. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not big on the whole, holds me thing. And I say that and I'm a huge cuddler, but sometimes I'm just not. So music is how I make up for those times when I'm not in the mood to be physically touched. Music becomes a person. And so because I was trying to write to my therapist to tell her how music feels to me and how music becomes a person for me, my personifications ranked up, right? Because you can't always say the same thing. I say write a lot. That's one of my favorite words. But when you're writing a book, you're writing a manuscript, or you're writing a short story, or whatever it is that you've decided to write, a poetry or anything like that. And then again, sometimes in poetry, you can get away with saying the same thing over and over, but most times you can. You need to find new ways of saying things. Given music personification, I can say music soothes me, or I can say the sound of the music traveled to my heart and caressed me out of my depression. I said the same thing, right? Music soothes me. I just said it in a different way. So that is what I mean when I say it definitely helps with your personification. And that's important with writing, because sometimes you want to give inanimate objects in your writing, you want to give them life. It's always about enhancing, items around you and ways to describe things in your story. Or it's also about attaching an emotion to your words. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay. When I need to write like a crazy, crazy scene, right? Where the tension is high and your heart is pumping and you just need to go, I listen to music for that. Because I realize that just as much as the music, like the music feeds into me, is as much as I write it into my story. Yeah, you can catch that, right? So yeah, I use music to feed into whatever scene I'm trying to write. Insane. You try it. Seriously, try it. If you need to write a love scene, listen to a love song. I'm all about boys to men. Boys to men. Woo! I'll make love to you. Anyone know what I'm talking about? But anyhow. Or you're trying to write like a crazy scene where there's death and gore. I always think of Set Fire to the Rain, right? Not necessarily because of the words of the song, but I love, again, that crescendo in it. I love when a good song kind of just like builds and it builds and it builds until it's just like but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, right? So my recommendation to you is absolutely try it. Do a playlist. I would even go so far, and it may be a little silly to you, but for me, I have a playlist for every aspect of my life. If I'm in a great mood, I'm listening to some Beyonce, some Nicki Minaj, some, bumping. If I'm in a terrible mood, that's when I start going towards my country, right? My Claire Bowen, my Maren Morris, my Keith. I keep that. That's kind of where I go. But when I need some like smooth talking moment, that's when my jazz comes out, right? Because especially from my new book, Weathered, I listen to a lot of jazz to kind of sensualize some of my characters, because again, my music feeds into my writing. How I feel in the moment is directly reflected into what I am writing. I don't know about you, but music is always music is my lifeline, one of my lifelines, right next to, just as high up as writing is, right behind it is music. So try some music. If you would like, send me a message. I'll send you a few of my playlist. I'll be more than happy to share with you so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about and tell me if it works for you. Leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Yes, please subscribe. Like my video, share to your friends, share on your social media pages. By the way, I do have a new Facebook page coming out, which is solely just towards you guys. I really wanted to open up my life to you, but I'm still would like to keep the sanctity of my family friends, right? I sometimes just don't want your family friends to know what's going on, even though this is on YouTube, so everybody probably knows at this point in time. But still, I like to keep a little bit of a separation. So I'm definitely dedicating an account, a Facebook account, sincerely just to you guys, so that you can, find out a little bit more about me, see my life from day to day, and meet my 4 cats. And let me tell you, they're little monsters. I love them to death, but they're little monsters. That being said, until a couple days from now, is it Thursday? Until Thursday, I will see you guys. Bye. Don't forget to make your music list.